Hi, I'm Chris Purcell, and I'm at HP Discover. And I had a very interesting opportunity of speaking to Kristen Verstrate, an old friend of mine from way back.
Oh yes.
And we're actually out here talking on SDR News and the Roku channel, which is a really great opportunity for us. And there's an open mic, so we get the opportunity of actually talking about stuff that we like, and then giving it back to our viewers. So Kristen, why don't you introduce yourself just for people who don't know you? Not very many people that are like that.
Hey, don't worry. Hi, so my name is Christian Verstrate. I'm actually serving as Chief Technologist for Cloud and leading the advisory services in application transformation as part of our services organization at the moment.
So we've talked about cloud many times before. When I spoke to you this morning, you were talking more about an assessment tool that you had for customers that they could actually do a self-assessment of their own environment. Why don't you talk to me a little bit more about that?
Okay, so basically what we realized is cloud is very nice, but you don't just go to the cloud for the sake of going to the cloud. You go to the cloud to do something on it. Right. Sounds logic, but a lot of people have a tendency occasionally to forget about it. And so what you want to know is you want to know whether your applications are suitable for cloud and then for what type of cloud they're suitable for. So we came up with about 32 questions that we put online that's available to everybody, and where we basically look at 12 different criteria to see which type of cloud suits the application. Actually, which type of cloud or whether it is a traditional environment. We'll look at things like licensing, we'll look at things like regulations, we'll look at things like geographical boundaries, we'll look at some of the technology aspects around it too. So it's really around trying to understand where that application can go and what we could do with it.
And what really impressed me about it was that it's an interactive tool.
Yes.
And I could actually define my own personality or profile within that tool, and then work through exactly where I would place or where my applications would place.
Yeah, so the first thing you do is you take your application and the specific characteristics of your application and you see what the outcome is. And the way we show the outcome is to two spider diagrams. And you actually look at where you end up within the spider diagram. That shows you which cloud to use if you don't start altering the application. But now you can go on to a discussion and you can start saying, hey, if I change this criteria, what does that imply? Can I then move that application to a different type of cloud? And so it becomes a starting point of discussion to figure out what you want to do with that application and how you're going to transform that application for your cloud environment.
So then it kind of comes back into the world that we talked about that I'm in now, Converged System.
Absolutely.
And it's actually starting to build out an infrastructure of maybe systems that will actually take me to the cloud at my choosing.
Absolutely. What we see is we see customers going from two directions. We see a number of customers, particularly coming out of IT, saying, hey, I want to build my private cloud. I want to use Converged Systems to actually put that together. And now I need to think about my applications and how do I get my applications there. You have on the other side some other people that come in and say, hey, I have business processes that I want to digitize in this digital enterprise type world. And to do that, I need the support of services which are supported by applications. And so what do I do with those applications to actually support my business processes and my business, and where do I put those applications? And we see the two different directions actually converging. Depending on who you talk to, depending on the maturity of the IT department, depending on the way the organization is structured and where the drivers are, you actually have a different movement. What we try to do from an application transformation perspective is working with you guys to basically be able to support both migrations and both type of moves.
So tell me a little bit more about, so we talked about systems, so cloud system is a term we've used, a product we've used. Tell me about where you think cloud system might fit into that.
Cloud system really fits the private or the managed private cloud environment. It's a very important piece because it's for many people a secure manner and a secure way to get a foot into cloud, to take advantage of cloud, but at the same time not to be confronted with a whole bunch of issues that they see with hybrid cloud, with public cloud, with lack of trust, with security aspects. So this gives them a first step into that particular environment. And what I would advocate to them is, while you're doing that and while you're transforming your applications for that first environment, for that private cloud, start thinking also about mobile enabling your applications, because we're increasingly getting into a world where the Generation X and Generation Y become your prime contacts, and they want to be able to juggle with multiple types of environments, with multiple gadgets that they want to use, and they want to have access to their applications through all of those. So do the two at the same time. It really helps you first understanding what cloud is all about. Secondly, prepare your applications for the future and demonstrate that your enterprise is really an enterprise that's at the front and that's listening to its users and addressing the needs of its users.
So you always have this way of simplifying it down to where dense people like me can actually understand it. So I really appreciate it. Hey, so before we go, so we talked about the application at the beginning. Yep. Where would people go to find that?
Okay, so you type into your browser https www.hp-appstogo/AT2C, and AT2C stands for Application Transformation to Cloud, and it's a number 2, by the way. Okay, so AT number 2C. Okay?
Great, thanks Christian. And thanks for bumping. Great to see you again at the show.
Yeah.
Look forward to talking to you soon.
Thank you, Chris.
Bye-bye.
Live streaming of SDR news coverage at HP Discover has been made possible by Intel Corporation. Check out Intel OpenPort IT, where you can connect with your peers at Intel on industry topics, best practices, strategies, and more. And by Microsoft, where HP and Microsoft are working together, combining their respective strengths to deliver innovative technologies to help advance your business.